Good evening, peep peeps. And hopefully you are joining us tonight. And if you are joining us, you are of course joining us for the weekly recap show. And this is the weekly recap show for week 4 of season 4. And with me as always, my lovely co-host, Insika707. How are you, Sigurd?
That is me. Hello, everybody. I'm great. Thanks. And yourself?
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. It's been an interesting, it's been an interesting week and it's been an interesting weekend, hasn't it?
It has. Well, actually, technically, it's been an interesting 2 weeks.
That's true because of course last week we didn't have a recap show because of because of some challenges, right? But now this week the challenges seem less. It seems like I don't know, Eskom found dry coal somewhere, or
No, no, let's not say that because,
yes, it just rained today, didn't it?
yes,
Well,
yes,
I mean,
for the last couple days or so,
what
since,
can we
since I
do,
got my
right?
car.
Hey, listen. On a side note, have you noticed
hmm
that YouTube has some new functionalities? Did you see that?
No.
So, guys, if you're watching the stream with us, I don't know if it's going to do it while we're doing it live, but definitely it does it afterwards. If you've managed to watch some games that were streamed this week, you would have noticed that YouTube has a new functionality where it actually writes on the screen what people are saying. So
Really?
yes, it's very cool. It's very cool, and look, it's not great because of the accent. It doesn't catch everything, eh?
It's not catching of all of the wordies.
No, it's not catching all of the wordies, but it's not bad. It's not bad. It's great for people like me who watch streams. You know, have streams on my other screen open at work. Not that I'm saying I do that.
No, no,
and
not
uh,
at all.
and I can have a bit of a read every now and again, and whatever may be the case. But in any case, guys, if you are joining us tonight, first of all, thank you very much for joining. Like I said, you are of course joining us for the weekly recap show, and this is the recap show for week 4 of season 4, which means that there is one more week left of playoffs, and then it will be the finals. Now, for those of you who don't know how it works, or is just watching or following the comp with us, of course, the way that it works is the guys play during the season to build up their score on the tables, and the tables actually determine who will be in the finals. Now, last or next week will be the last week of gameplay, and then of course the tables are set for the finals, and we're going to have a look a little bit tonight at exactly what those tables look. Hopefully, we're not going to keep you busy for too long. As you know, our recap shows are not very long. They're normally around about half an hour. At least we have a lot to talk about, but tonight we're not going to keep you that or busy for that long. But if you're watching the stream with us, please let us know on the stream if everything's all good, if it's nice and audible, and the videos coming through on your side, everything looks good. Of course, if you are subscribed to the channel already, that's great. If you are not, please hit that little subscribe button and also hit the bell to get your notifications whenever we go online. And of course, if you don't mind and you like what we are doing, please give us a like on the video as well. It's always appreciated. It's all good. Yeah?
Sure.
So,
Would
Sigurd,
you like to take a breath there?
I am. So I'm going to take a bit of a breath. You say hi to the people in the stream and let me know what you thought about the games this week.
All right, so first of all, let's say hello to those who are saying hi to us on the stream. We've got Wanda Fairy, of course. Hey, Wanda. Philip van Rensberg. And Vixtix. And we've got some lurkers. I can see there's some lurkers in there. But
There's
hello to the
some,
lurkers.
type something back, lurkers.
Yo, but how were some of those matches this week, though?
No, it was
Phew!
good. It was good. Yeah.
First time we have had a draw.
Yes, I know, right? I mean, that was just, it was like way too close. That was, of course, in the game between the Monkeys and DOW, right?
That's correct.
And to be honest with you, as an organizer, you don't plan on draws, right?
No, no, no.
But yes, there was for the first time. Actually, I think, to be honest with you, I think it's only the second or the third time since we started with season 1, and I'm talking about, sort of in the last 2.5, almost 3 years now.
Toekomstige.
I think there's only been like a couple of draws, like maybe 3 or 4, right? So it doesn't happen often, especially because of the game modes also that we select.
Yeah, yeah.
And yes, this week it happened.
Yeah, so back in the day when we had season one, we were still, bringing the broadcast via Oxfar to the
Yes,
people.
yes, via the Orsavar.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes, but well, actually, I think part of season one. I mean, if you look back on the streams, part of season one, we were still streaming directly from PlayStation,
PlayStation,
right?
yes. Oh my
And
gosh.
well, it was fun, right? I mean, it worked as well, but of course, we're trying to get more fancy as we go along, right? So, but anyway, this past week has seen some hectic games. Of course, as you mentioned, there was that that game between the Monkeys and DOW, which had a draw in there, which surprised. Well, I don't know if it was that surprising. I mean, we always knew that the teams are going to play their best. So I don't want to say it's a surprise that there was a draw, but technically speaking, it was a surprise because you don't really expect draws in these sort of games, right?
Yeah, yeah, we got the message. We're like, so what happens when there's a draw? We're like, what do you mean there's a draw? There can't be a draw. What are you talking about?
Yeah, yeah. What happens when there's a draw? Sorry, what? Page to
A what
page
now?
876 of the rules. In case all
Yeah.
else fails and there's a draw.
Amendment 365.
Yes. Something like that. Anyway. Guys, again, if you are joining us for the stream, thank you very much for joining. Please let us know in the stream if everything is good on your side, good audio, good video, and that sort of thing. But I think we can get onto it, Sika. We've talked about load shedding being less of a problem this week. We've talked about some of the great games that we've had and seen. We've talked about that miraculous draw that we saw there as well. And of course, there was a number of streams streamed this week by other streamers as well, right? So, guys from our side,
That's
thank
true.
you very much again for doing so. Of course, we can't get to all the games, even if I want to. So it's really, really cool that there are some other people that are streaming games. And I mean, go and check out the Facebook page. They drop their links there as well, and also support those guys whenever they have a game. All
Yes, of
good.
course. And I think it'd be a good idea as well just to explain why we didn't have a recap show last week.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Right, so guys, of course, the week before last, we were hit with some load shedding issues, and teams, of course, because we hadn't had load shedding for a little bit, they didn't really count on that happening. So games were scheduled for Wednesday, Thursday that week. Didn't happen because all of a sudden there was load shedding, and half the team couldn't get online, and everyone couldn't connect, and the whole story. South Africa, yay! But yeah, so what we ended up doing was actually incorporating a sort of amendment to the rules in terms of load shedding. So we actually give teams now a grace week. So if there's load shedding in one week and they cannot get to the games that they need to play, they are able to play the game the next week or the week after,
Hmm.
as long as they agree to play two games in that week. Luckily, this past week we got to all the games and everything, and we caught up, so we are on schedule.
Yes, we
So
are.
that's why last week we didn't have a recap show because we still had to play some games. So it's kind of awkward for us to sit here and go, well, yeah, three games were played this week. So yeah, thanks for coming, guys. Cheers.
And of course, that's exactly what you're saying, right? So when we show the results tonight, you will actually see that there was more games played this week than I think really ever before, because the guys pretty much all of them played at least two games in terms of that catch up week. But yes, everything is up to date. We are at the end of week 4, so we have one more week of play to go before we enter into the finals. And I think without further ado, let's get to those results. So what I'm pulling up, guys, you can see there on your screen now is a couple of the results of the last week. So let's start at the top there. There was the game between DPS and MSMK, where the Monkeys took the win 2-1. We had CTK Kakmark, who played Raw. They took that game 3-0. There was the game between Dow and GSE, where Dow took the win 3-0. We had PDT playing, well, actually not playing, but facing off VLNS. Of course, VLNS withdrawing from the competition, and therefore PDT getting the automatic win there 3-0. And then, of course, we had 4Q who faced Raw, and Raw took the win there with 3-0. Then moving on to the second set of results. Again, we had CTK Kakmark there, who played Dow 2 or Dogs of War 2. The CTK took the win there 3-0. 4Q, their second team, played CTK Kakpraat, and of course CTK took the win there 3-0. AOV played GSE, taking the win 3-0. Dow played the Monkeys, and of course this was the match that we were talking about earlier, where there was that draw that happened, and therefore the Monkeys took the game 3-1. And then of course we had Dark and Rex who played, where Dark took the win 3-0.
So just coming back to that DOW and MSMK match, of course you can see there are 4 points allocated to that match. That only happens, of course, in a draw situation where both teams get a point for that map. So yes, both teams got 1 point, and then MSMK took the other two.
Correct. So guys, very quickly then, going through the results again. DPS and the Monkeys took the win. CTK Raw, CTK took it. Dow GSE, Dow took the win. PDT VLNS, PDT took the win. And Raw and 4Q, and Raw took the win there. The second set of results is CTK and Dow, and CTK took the win. CTK and 4Q second team, and CTK took the win there. AOV and GSE, AOV took it. Dow and the Monkeys, where the Monkeys took the win. And Dark versus Rex, where Dark took the win. And that was the results for this past week. A couple of intense games there. I saw some hectic chatting there on the leaders group as well.
Yes.
So some really, really good games. I managed to actually watch two of the other streams that was done by some of the other streamers. I know that Victor did one, and there was one other one that I watched as well. So saw some really, really good games there. What did you think about the game, Sika?
Really, really good. Unfortunately, I missed the DRW MSMK game, and I see that I don't think the stream is available anymore. So I'm really sad about that, because I really wanted to watch that map that drew. So if anybody has a link for that, please let me know. I
Yeah,
really, really, really want to watch it.
yeah. Please share
But
it, and then you can we can have a bit of a squiz there, and yeah, no, it's worth watching. It's worth watching. Right. So, guys, moving then on to the games that are going to be played this week. Now, of course, bear in mind that this coming week is the last week of playoffs. So, it is the last week of play. And then, of course, the tables will be set for the finals. And we will have a look at what those tables look like. But for now, the game's being played next week. And I'm going to bring up two sets again. So, we have, of course, AOV facing the Monkeys, which I think
that's
is going
going
to
to
be
be a
hectic
great game.
game. I think that's going to be rough. Then we have Dow facing off against DPS. We will have 4Q2 facing off against Rex. And then the other 4Q team, of course, this week will get to the automatic win against the team that is withdrawn. Then moving to the second set of games that will be played. And interestingly here, we have both the CTK teams playing both the PDT teams. So it is going to be the CTK boys facing the Predators on both sides of the fence this week. So we're going to see how that goes. And then, of course, we have the Dogs of War second team facing off against Raw. And I think there's a little bit of I always want to say a bit of a rivalry going on there. So I'd like to also see how that pans out, right? That'll be Dow 2 facing Raw. So guys, bringing them up for you very quickly again. We have AOV facing the Monkeys. We have Dow facing Dark Pound Society. We've got 4Q second team facing Rex. 4Q will get the default win because of the withdrawal. Then we will have both CTK teams playing both Predator teams, and we will have Dow 2 playing Raw. So some exciting games coming up in this last week. Of course, what will happen is if we start looking at the tables now, you are going to see that there's already people that have secured their place in the final, or at least one team, and then depending on how this week pans out, we may see some changes to the tables, right? So I'm going to start there with, let's start with Division 3 then. So at the moment you can see there that at the top of Division 3 at the moment is Dark, and they are there with their 10 points, right? And their closest competitor at the moment is Rex and actually CTK, both being on 5 points. Yeah. Now, why that is significant is that depending on how the CTK game goes this week, in this case the one CTK game against PDT, CTK could either move into that second position or they can stay in third.
Yeah.
Of course, Rex also has a game this week, and that is against 4Q2, if I recall now correctly from the previous screen. And again,
Yeah.
depending on how that game goes, that will either put them in or keep them in second, or sharing second with CTK, or put them into third. So we're going to
Yeah.
have to see how it goes. Now, here's
Those are going to
the
be some interesting games because
ab-
both teams are fighting for that second place there.
absolutely. Now, here's what might happen, right? Let's say, for example, CTK. I'm just going to use an example. Let's say CTK wins and Rex wins with 3 points. Then they will end up on the same score, right?
Yeah.
Which means that they will have to play off for who ends up in the final.
Yep.
But Dark has pretty much secured their position in the final, so we will definitely see them there, and then it will be between Rex and CTK. Now, of course, the same applies if both these teams lose, they will end up in the same position as well, because of course at the moment 4Q and PDT can't catch them anymore.
Yep.
So, well, actually,
Well,
that's not
actually,
true.
technically they can.
That's not true. So if
We could end
4Q
up with 4 teams with 5 points.
exactly, which is very, very uncommon, but that could happen. So this week is going to be a really, really exciting week for Division
Yeah.
3. So at this point, the only team who has secured their position in Division 3 is Dark, and I think that speaks for how balanced this division is, right? I mean, it's a fight to the end. I mean, sometimes you get a division where halfway through the season you can clearly see, these are the teams that are going to be there at the end. But this particular division, well balanced, with Dark there being in number one, securing their position, and of course the other guys still all have an opportunity to fight it out, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. Moving then on to Division
For
2
Sparta.
for Sparta. So moving on to Division 2, and the fight at the moment here is pretty much between CTK, Mark, and the Predators. CTK, they're on 12 points, and the Predators on 11. Of course, again, what could happen here is you could have a switch of a position. Unfortunately, Raw is on 7 points, which means that they cannot catch up to PDT anymore. So, of course, both CTK and PDT have secured their spot in the final, irrespective of what happens this week in the game. However, what could happen is they could swap spots, right? Where Predators
Yeah.
end up in number one and CTK in number two. So, I guess it's really a playoff from that perspective. And
Well, they are playing each other this week, so
correct.
one of them is going to be in position 2.
Correct. So that's what I'm saying. Worst case scenario, they're going to swap spots, or they stay exactly like they are at the moment, right?
Yeah.
But definitely we will see those two teams in Division 2 in the final. They have secured their spot with 1 week to go of the competition. So that's Division 2. Moving on then to I almost said Division 3, Division 1. Now the interesting thing here is we have these two teams playing each other this week as well, right? So
Yes.
both AOV and the Monkeys are playing each other this week. They are, of course, number 1 and 2 within Division 1 at the moment. Dow then there at 4 points, so a little bit out of reach for the final. So again, AOV and the Monkeys have secured their spot with this last week playing. And I think the nice thing about them playing this last week is it's almost going to be like a test run, right, for the final.
That's
So
right.
it's going to be a little bit of a warm-up match, and but we will definitely then see them in week 6 in the final. They are far enough ahead on points that they have both secured their spot in the final there for Division 1. So really, Division 2 and Division 3 this week, there might still be some changes with this last week of play before the final. But definitely in Division 1, we will watch out for the AOV and the Monkeys final. Now, I think that is going to be honest, I'm going to book it now and say I'm going to stream it, because I think it is going to be
Oh,
a
yes.
great match to watch.
Yeah, I
Great.
think all those final games are going to be really amazing, which is exactly why we, with the Call of Duty tournament, we've got that off week, so that we can focus on these finals.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Everyone can watch them.
we sort of planned it that way when we,
Yeah.
because we're running the card tournament at the same time. We didn't want to take anything away from the finals being played, so the card guys will actually have the break week or the transfer week, right, in week 6 when these finals will get played. So we do the necessary, right? Then we give the guys the airtime when the finals are being played and everybody can see it. But guys, let's quickly go through them again. Just the two top positions at the moment in each division. Division 1, we have AOV and the Monkeys there at position 1 and 2. For Division 2, we have CTK and PDT in position 1 and 2. And then for Division 3, it is Dark. And we actually, at the moment, we have a joint second position between Rex and CTK. But of course, 4Q and PDT are not out of the running as yet. And we may actually see this division having to perhaps play some playoff games to understand who the second finalist would be. But let's see what happens this week, right?
Yeah. I don't think either of those teams are going to just lie down and let the others get the points. I think it's going to be hard fought at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. It is. I don't think anybody's going to go, well, it's the last week. You're tired. We're not going to play.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Nope.
Right. Sika, so from your side, what do you think about the tables? What do you think about the games coming up for this week?
I think Division 3 is definitely going to be the games to watch this week. Just because everybody's fighting so hard for those positions.
Yeah.
Obviously, the AOV and MSMK match is going to be lit. It's going to be amazing. But if you don't manage to catch it this week, obviously they will still be there in the final, so we'll get to
Yes.
watch them again.
Yes, those
It's
two.
actually what I think is going to be interesting is the teams that are facing each other this week that are then going to face each other in the final. I'm quite keen to see how they adapt and change between the two matches because I mean, if you face a team now and you know you got to face them again, are you going to play your stronger strats for the final, or are you're going to wait and leave those really really risky moves, or are you going to use this as practice and see how they play? And it's very difficult to call.
Yes, yes. But here's the thing, though, is that especially in a situation like this where the teams are going to face each other, knowing that they've earned their spot for the final and they are going to face each other again, how much of your real strategy will you play this game, right? That's the question. Or even when it comes to something like map selection, right? What map am I going to pick this week, knowing that I'm going to play this team in a final the following week, and considering that rule that you're not allowed to pick the same two maps 2 weeks in a row.
Yep,
So
that's correct.
I mean, there's a lot of thinking going on between these teams where that will happen, and even me, I'm going to be watching out to see how that goes and what happens there.
Yep.
Nice, nice. Sika, from
I
your
can
side?
tell you, I don't actually know how I would play that.
No, I don't know either. I'd have to think about it a lot.
Sure. Yeah, it would be one of those like, you kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Absolutely, absolutely. Sika, from your side, anything that you still want to bring up? I think for tonight, I think we've covered the results, we've covered the games that are going to be played for next week, and we've covered the current divisional standings. Again, guys, if you have joined us for the stream, you did join us for week 4, which is the second last week of the competition before we go into the finals. Thank you very much for doing that. If you are already subscribed with this channel, then that's absolutely excellent. If you are not, please remember to hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell to get your notifications whenever we go online. And I'm actually going to give you a little thing there to show you. And of course, if you like what we are doing, please remember to give us a like on this video, and we always appreciate a like or two, and that always helps, and it's great for us to know that guys are enjoying what we are doing. But Sika, from your side, is there anything that you still want to call out or mention or anything like that?
Well, of course, well played to the teams this past week. Some really great games, and the sportsmanship I've seen, actually coming from this past week and the week before has been awesome. Obviously, guys really understanding the issues with load shedding and understanding the issues with everything that goes on. I mean, life sometimes does get in the way of gaming.
Yes, yes.
It's not something you can predict all the time, and it's not something that you can actually sort of always circumnavigate. But teams have been really understanding and helpful, and said, yeah, sure, let's make a plan, let's make sure we get to play, which has been amazing. And of
Absolutely.
course, yeah, thank you so much to our two league masters as well, to Roxanne, Homegirl, and of course Chaos Artist for the fantastic work they do behind the scenes. making sure, especially now with games being moved to the next week and things like that, making sure that things go according to plan, that things are always scheduled properly, and yeah, that we don't have to run around too much at the end of the day looking for the stuff to be loaded, right before the recap shows. But
Uh,
yeah, I think that,
absolutely. Absolutely. We can't do it without those guys, right?
yeah.
Absolutely. There we go. I think that is what we had for tonight. So, guys, again, thank you very much for joining us. Sika, also thank you for your company. Lovely as always. And I'm really, really looking forward to the games being played this week. I think I'm gonna. Let's hope I have enough time to watch it everywhere where it's being streamed. Lovely.
Yeah.
Excellent. Guys, thank you very much. That's all we had from my side. We hope you enjoy the show with us, and we hope you enjoy the games coming this week. Of course, we are looking forward to firming up those tables for the finals, and let's see how it goes. But from my side, I'm Yakusal for Battle Bros. Leave no one standing.